Welcome to Cannabis Talk 101 with Blue and Joe Grande, the world's #1 source for everything cannabis. Thank you, Marc Wasserman, for coming in today. I mean, geez.
Oh, man.
This is such a new intro to the show where I feel like I have to just describe this and give everybody a description of what's going on because this is the first time, Marc, we're in Las Vegas together.
Yes.
And you're going to be on as a guest for this big acting. So as we do this intro, Marc, it's hard not to just do it normal with you. So know that it's hard for me.
All right. Do
you
what you need
that?
to do.
Do you understand
Get it
that?
out of the way.
And you understand that we have Sheldon Cooper here.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I know.
You know who
I
Sheldon
Of
Cooper
course,
is, right? From
of
All
course.
Access USA,
All
Tattoos
right, I want to
and
say we were
Smokes.
at one of the first Vegas cannabis years and years ago. So,
Right? Yes.
I know.
Yes.
I know. So get it out of the way.
Sheldon, Blue's not here today. He's missing this first experience that we take over the iHeart Studios in Las Vegas, and we finally found a new home. And as we found a new home in Las Vegas to start doing our shows and talk cannabis stuff and acting stuff and just smoke and talk and whatever, I got to remind everybody about Sheldon Cooper's Cannabis Awards that's coming up September 28th. It's going to be the first ever show on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So that's going to be big. Tell us about that, Sheldon, real quick.
So right when you leave church, make sure you come from 2 to 10 p.m. to the Cannabis Awards at Fremont Country Club and Triple B's. It's going down.
Yes, it is. That's going to be a beautiful Sunday. And we have Michael from Alternative Culture Awards. That's going down July 24th, 8 p.m. That's always a great event. Michael, make sure you get yourself on that camera looking so sexy and fly right there. Yes, he's our technical director. Yes, doing it real big today. Thank you so much, too, Michael, for real, doing everything you do. If you need me to come do your technical direct, I want to do your show as well. And before I get into the big, long intro for you, Marc, we have your long lost friend, producer, director, writer, just your long buddy since, how old was it? Like
8 years old?
Yeah. Well,
I was 8.
I was 7.
Damn, Dave Cohen, I mean, another lawyer buddy that you look at and you go, how did two lawyers come from 8-year-old friendships? That's kind of weird. I don't got any 8-year-old friends, Sheldon, that we're both, the only thing that I have in common with an 8-year-old friend is that we've both been to jail.
Yeah.
You know what we used to do?
You know, that's about it. You know?
At 8 years old, we played with Hot Wheels and listened to Bill Cosby comedy records.
Yeah.
Those were some good ones. I like the Bill Cosby, but the Eddie Murphy and the Richard Pryors were just a little better, weren't they?
We were devastated.
Oh, we were. And we're going to get to some stories about you guys and how you grew up. So, Dave, I definitely want you to get to thinking about when Marc got the acting bug. But today, Marc, you're such a great friend of mine. You're a business partner. You're a brother. You've been a writer. You're an actor. You've been a dancer, a filmmaker, a stripper, a teabagger. I mean, Marc Wasserman is a Renaissance man as evidenced by his extensive array of experiences and diverse influences on his style. I mean, look at the way he dresses, for God's sakes. He attended Whitney High School out there in beautiful California. And, of course, that was one of the highest-ranking high schools in the country. Now, the subject of the best-selling book, School of Dreams, well, that was Marc right there with his own dreams of becoming a what? An actor, a filmmaker. Well, Marc did that, and not only did he do more than that, he was the president of his high school drama club and so much else. You've known him as a host on Cannabis Talk 101 with his brother with the whole STFU. Well, we're going to STFU about that and talk about the acting, not debut, but my friend, I'm so proud.
Yeah.
That, Dave, you didn't produce this, but I thought you did, you bastard, when you came in here. I thought you were the producer of this. But our other good friend that is not here today produced you, Marc, and made you look so terribly great. Because I believe this character. And the character's name is Herbie.
No. Bill Morgan. Herbie's the plant.
Sorry, you're right. I apologize.
Did you really watch it?
Yes,
dude?
I swear to God I did.
Did you?
And not only that, we talked about it intensely, and you know I did. But you're right. The movie's called Herbie, and Marc, you did a remarkable job, right? Like, how did you really come up with something going? You did some work on this. Talk about the character And how much work you had to do to find this character?
Well, so first I got to shout out, as you were mentioning, my very, very good friend Ford Austin, who produced this movie. And in fact, he was the actor playing the homeless vet. They shot about a week's worth of it. And he stopped production and told the other producers that he thought this film, which centers around a homeless vet who's at the end of his rope and finds a broken down cannabis plant and nurtures that plant back to life, and that cannabis then helps him survive. And we know the problem with vets and their access to cannabis and all that stuff. And he told these producers, I got a friend, he's part of the Pop Brothers Outlaw, and he's all into this movement, but he's a great actor, and I think he should do this. And so I did a little screen test, and they hired me, and I spent about 4 months really researching and talking to. I already knew a bunch of homeless vets, and we've known vets in the industry from the Weed for Warriors and so on and so forth, that I was able to, to have serious discussions about how they need to or want to access cannabis, and they're being forced with the opiates and the other pills and all that stuff. So that part of it was kind of easy, talking to people that I knew and interviewing different vets. And then when it comes to building the character, you go from the inside out, because what's inside is more important than the aesthetics of the outside, which is important and can be done with makeup and all sorts of things. But I don't believe in that. I believe in going in and becoming the character, growing my hair out, growing a bit, becoming a pain in the ass at my house for my wife and kids to live with, as I'm drowning in this character of a homeless vet and bringing it home every day. And when you look at yourself in the mirror after 2 or 3 months and you've grown a beard and your hair's grown out and you don't shower every day and you do the little things, you become this other person, as an actor. And I do incorporate some method acting in the things that I do when I prepare for a character, but I think it's important so that the audience can get in touch with who this character is. And I took it very serious because of what the movie was trying to say and its exploration into the problem that we have in this country and the way they treat vets and the way they really don't care about their medical treatment and want to force all the opiates and all that stuff, which we know is not working. And being able to access cannabis and showing, how it can help, that it just took over when I decided to do it, and it was a wonderful experience.
Ford Austin produced a wonderful film because, like I said, watching you got so deep into the character. I tripped out on how well you cry, how much you show emotions, and it's just overwhelming to watch a friend of yours do so well. I mean, you always think you could do something good, and we always joke with each other, but when we see each other's craft, and then you win an award, like, talk about the award you won.
Well, so let me throw out a little list here of awards and acceptances that Herbie has had, whether it's an acting award, producing, directing. We've been accepted, and these awards have gone out. The Art House Festival of Beverly Hills, Palm Beach Shorts in Florida, Brussels World Film Festival, Rio de Janeiro World Film Festival, Philadelphia International Filmmaker Awards, Bangkok Movie Awards, Bare Bones International Film Festival, Culver City Film Festival, New York Shorts Award, Tokyo International, and it's still being accepted across the world at other film festivals that it's being submitted to. So when you get that kind of recognition, even at small film festival or wherever it is, and people sending messages, especially vets, oh wow, that was I relate to that. I know somebody who went through that. I went through that. And when we were filming this thing, part of it was filmed right in downtown Oklahoma City. And we had drones going over, taking shots, and the director would say, okay, just, go. And I would walk in the middle of downtown, and I was in character, and people gave me money. People turned away from me. A little girl asked her mom, can we give this man a few bucks? Because I had a little, tin that I was, holding out. And but there were plenty of people who, just were scared.
Wow.
Take one look at you and like, we better avoid this person, And all the money that I collected, I ended up giving to other homeless people that were out there, and so we shot some of that stuff just like in real time, just me going out and interacting with real people, and that was a great experience to learn that it's sad. It's sad because there's people dealing with that, and you never know from one person to the next how they're going to react, and they're either going to treat you like a person or some kind of animal. Actually, so that's what I got.
There's a real issue here too, Mark, and that we all face and see, which is the epidemic of what their veterans have to go through, whether it be the pills, the harder drugs, and seeing you play a character like that, it just breaks my heart that some people won't get help, can't get help. I mean, playing that role, Mark, what do you see differently?
Gotcha. Well, when you're dealing with, like my character dealt with getting beat up by vagrants and thrown in a dumpster, right? And that's pretty much how it starts. And he's in a dumpster, trash just covered in shit, and it's like that's how much lower can you get? And knowing that that's there are people out there that's what they're dealing with. It's a hard truth, and it was uncomfortable for me, acting. Right, you're acting. As actors, we say we're playing. We're in the playground. We're getting to do all this stuff and get in touch with emotions that other people have to deal with. And that particular scene, when I was in the dumpster, I was ultimately thinking about my family, and like, wow, what if something happened in my life and this is where I ended up, for through no fault of my own. Because it's not that person's fault a lot of time. I mean, of course, there are people who make choices and make bad decisions, but there are people that through no fault of their own and whatever life threw at them, especially vets, who went to war and did unspeakable things, and then they don't get taken care of afterwards. I mean, it really opened my eyes to what those people have to deal with. And it's sad.
Yeah, it's really tough too, because we see it all the time, especially in Vegas and around the world, and LA too, Cali, thousands of people just left on the street, and like, just $1, a penny,
right,
a quarter, anything, and then people just keep on walking. You're like, no, literally, I just need anything. Like, they just keep on walking. You're like, no, but I really need this, you guys, and some people just don't give a shit.
They don't, and a lot of people think, well, you did this to yourself.
Yeah, or you're just gonna buy drugs with it.
That's a go-to.
I'm actually hungry.
Right?
Exactly. It's a tough call either way. You played a tough role right there, Mark, and I think it's cool to finally bring you on to talk about your acting, because
thank you.
We have a good friend of yours, Dave. You guys go back to like 8 years old.
Yes.
So I want to talk about Dave. When did you know that Mark was flamboyant like that?
That was probably the first day. I mean,
like, what was it? Was it his shoes? Was it the feather in his hat? Like, what was it that?
Oh, it's that face. You look at that face and you just know immediately. I was 7 years old. He was 8 years old. We met in class. We met in All right. We met in Hebrew school.
No way.
Yes.
Hold on. Sing a song besides Fiddler on the Roof. Come on. Give me one of them because I'll give you a halva, la kiva, halva, la kiva, halva. But give me a good one from Hebrew school.
Go ahead,
please.
Mark. That's all you. Because he's a singer too.
I know.
I don't
So
know.
give me one together that you guys learned.
Well,
man.
every Friday night.
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Eloheinu melech olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Yeah, there you
Shabbat shalom, baby.
go. Right. And as soon as we got through that, we would go get the
Shalom.
refreshments and see if there was the other, 7 and 8 year old girls that were also going to the
To the Hodahod.
to the Oneg Shabbat.
Yeah.
And
No.
did you guys do the If I Was a Rich Man?
Ah,
Yibba dibba dibba
well,
yibba
Fiddler,
dibba
Fiddler on the
I
Roof
did.
is a favorite of ours.
I sang that to my dad on his deathbed hours before he died.
Are you serious?
I did. I did a whole musical deal for him.
If I was a rich
As he was waiting for my brother Mike to fly in from college. Where's my son Mike? Wait, Dad, let me sing you another song. And I would sing him something, and then I would finish, and he'd like, okay, enough. Where's Mike? I said, let me sing you one more. And I did like 4 songs. It's true.
Are you
so,
serious?
So,
No,
so,
I didn't know this part
so
of the
true.
story.
So true. I have it on video, dude. The whole thing. God rest his
man,
soul,
that was
my
a
dad.
good man.
Love
you know,
my
that
dad.
book's in my office.
And
up
you
there.
interviewed him.
Oh,
We interviewed
yeah.
him. We have
We had
that.
such a good time
Yeah.
with that man. Right there.
We
That was one of
digress.
the best interviews. So I got to ask you, Dave.
Yeah.
What's a good story about our good old friend Marc Wasserman, where he was acting and did something funny as a kid, or just a good, embarrassing, borderline story? Because for me, I get the off limits. Because he knows that I can't bring up shit that's like to the off limits. But Lord knows we all know some things on Mark that can still take it to the limit. So now that we're talking about him as his acting career, and as now we get to embarrass the actor. So Dave,
Boy, man, I just.
Have at it.
Dave's like before 20s or after.
You know what? It's so many things are swirling around. It's hard to. Well, here's one story.
Oh, nice.
So we were not kids we had almost kind of grown up. Well, Mark never really grows up, but we had had graduated law school, and we were kind of trying to find our way, and so we had a place. We said, hey, why don't we get a place together? And our favorite thing was to throw parties and have whoever we could get over there.
Nice.
And so we had a small get-together one night, and there was some random girls from the local community college where we were going, and they were there. And so, this is way back. We were in our 20s, I guess, maybe our late 20s, and, so everybody's making out with everybody. And so these girls that Mark wants to make out with. By the way, let me just preface this by
girls, like more than one girl.
This is way before he met his wife.
of course.
In case if she tunes in.
So we're just kind of sitting around and drinking. We got the music on, and girls are making out, and these girls are this and that. And this one girl says to Mark, I will make out with you if you make out with Dave.
Okay.
So
this is good.
I'm sitting.
I know Mark, so I wonder where this goes.
So I've never seen a guy jump up so fast and make a beeline for his best friend. And he gets his face into my face. Fortunately, my arms were long enough to go around his head and put my palm on his mouth right before he tries to go make out with me. So
Of
he's
course,
making
he was
out
going
with,
balls to the wall.
So I get his tongue in the palm of my hand, and the girls are behind him. No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. And I was able to push him off, and it didn't happen.
That's
But he was so excited about making out with me so that he could, and it wasn't me. I mean, look.
I did both the girls.
But I don't know what happened.
That's an old school magic trick.
But boy, oh boy, was he excited about making out with me for just a chance.
Yes.
Because they were lying. But just the chance that there was a possibility.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
But I will say that was his MO. I mean, and he just wanted
Whatever it
to.
took.
Yeah, he just wanted to get in on the action.
Yeah.
Mark, I love that you just get to finally shine in the acting realm, right? Because you get so much court, you get so many people talking to you about, STFU, ba 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 ba, and now to sit here and say you're being recognized for a character starring Marc Wasserman. Your name is right there in letters behind Mr. Sheldon Cooper.
I like it.
And I look at that and I go, not only is Sheldon on Cannabis Talk 101 hanging out, chilling with us here at the iHeart Studios in Vegas, but Mark, your serious IMDb is growing, brother.
Yes. Yes. And I haven't looked at that. It's been a couple years now since I shot that. And
can I just say I'm gonna jump in on his acting in that role. It's hard for me to look at my friend Mark and see him as these characters because he's my friend. I know him. And this is one of those roles where I was watching him, especially in that dumpster scene. I'm saying, wow, I kind of forgot that he was my friend. I just saw the character, and that's not the first time, but that was really the best time. So.
It honestly doesn't even look like you at all.
Yeah.
Like you would never even know.
I love it. I love that. I've done a lot of movies where I've been accused of that's not you.
But your plant looks like on point. Like that
shit
is shiny.
They grew the plant. They had
that was a real plant.
That was a real one.
Wow.
They had a couple. They had a couple of them on set from day to day. So.
Wow.
Sorry, I just want to say one more thing on that. A lot of times the characters, because we write a lot of our own stuff, and he writes characters, and so do I, that kind of fit his own personality, and so you oftentimes find that he's kind of playing himself, but not in this one. Not in Herbie. This was a complete departure.
Wow.
And
I would agree, Mark. This right here
Yeah.
was something that is completely out of your box to where, I mean, you're used to being on the fucking whatever show from MTV that was the big one, and you play yourself more than you play a real character, right? I mean, yes, you've gained some weight and played a character here and there.
Well, that was an attorney.
Was that an attorney?
It was.
Exactly.
It was.
a fat attorney.
In the other movies. So on Amazon, you can find a movie called Commute, which is a comedy when there is no fast lane, and God in that movie is played by Tom Sizemore.
Wow.
Thank you. We rest in peace, Tom Sizemore. We got him. That's a whole other story that maybe we'll talk about in a minute when we were shooting Tom Sizemore in Commute. But I play an attorney who's driving from Orange County to L.A., and it's like 90% of the movie's in the car. And then we did a movie called Falling Down, again playing an attorney who causes the death of his young son. And that was the movie I gained 50 pounds and lost it for and stuff. But I was playing attorneys. I wrote those movies. And as Dave said, when I write stuff, I'm drawing from my own experience. One of the first films we worked on and the first play that we ever did called Terminal was about a guy who was dying of a terminal disease. I had meningitis when I was 18 and almost died from it. And I wrote about my experience and I'm going to die. I want to do these 10 different things. And so, like he said, a lot of what I write is drawing from my own personal experiences. But Herbie, written by somebody else. I'm not a homeless vet. I've never experienced any of that. So being able to dive into the exploration of a character like that was really gratifying for me.
How do you think cannabis played a part in all this? I mean, you carried a plant as part of the movie. I get that part, but talk about the other elements of it for yourself and personally.
Well, so for the character, being able to grow his own medicine and use it for all the medicinal purposes, that was just something very important that needed to be portrayed.
It's like a personal relationship.
Absolutely. And in between takes, as I'm smoking joints and vapes and eating edibles, it was just perfect environment for me, because I need my meds for my own reasons and to get me through, A couple times, the director's like, are you okay? Are you okay? You going to be able to, yeah, go. Say action, let's go. I'm not getting, I think I've said this to you before, Joe, and you've probably been there on occasion. I think I'm stoned. How many times have you heard me say that? And after 82 hours of going and doing what we're doing and smoking and doing this.
It's only been a couple. I've never even heard Sheldon say it either. Think of it.
Because it's not. We're medicating. We're if I wasn't medicating right now, I'd be bouncing off the walls. We need it for our own reasons.
So it's funny because the way I see you use it, Mark, and then the way I see you use it, Sheldon, are like you're an excessive, like every other minute, second, Marc Wasserman needs it. You, on the other hand, prefer a nice bong rip.
Oh, yeah.
Here and there, sporadically, a joint maybe.
Yeah.
But you're not I need to smoke all the time. But you do need to smoke, but not need to where...
Exactly. I used to have to smoke like every 2 seconds, but then you get to a point, I took like a month off from smoking and drinking, and whenever I came back, I was like, you know what? I don't have to smoke all day long. I'm just going to do a bong rip, chill for like 30 minutes, an hour or so, and I'll just take another one. And dude, it's crazy with how much I've cut back on smoking from when I used to. Say back in my high school or college years,
Right.
But it actually feels a lot better. Not like say blunts, all the tobacco, and then taking a break and actually just doing glass or a joint feels so much better, bro. It really does.
Mark, what do you do more of?
Well, so for me, it's all about time. When do I have time to do it? What am I doing? From one day, I could go a whole day and I haven't smoked anything just because I'm at the gym in the morning with my son. And then I got to go to court all day, and then now I'm picking him up and doing basketball. And so it's in between all that, if I can get a dab in, if I can stick my vape in there and get a hit, great. When I go away like this on a trip, I'm out. I'm smoking nonstop.
Yeah.
We do those conventions. We're going to be back out here for Champs in July. We'll be on the floor. We'll be outside in the smoking area. I'll be smoking, all day, every day. So it's for me. If it's the opportunity. If I have the opportunity, I will chain smoke.
Yeah.
But if I don't, then it doesn't ruin my day. I'm not tweaking out or freaking out. Because it's like, oh, no. And then I realize, oh, geez, it's like I've been through the whole day. I haven't even had a hit yet.
Yeah.
Now I'll go get one. Or, I'll throw some edibles and stuff like that. So it's for me, it's more about when am I able to and what's accessible.
And the vapes and edibles are perfect for that.
Yeah.
For just on the road, you don't really have time, Say even at a concert, you can't really twist one up or just smoke. It's not allowed. But just a little vape or edible, it's
should be allowed everywhere already.
I think on a lot of show sets now too, they're just got to be so. It's just got to be so much better for people to be like, oh my God, I could just hit this vape pen. I don't have to smoke a joint.
We were talking about the Snoop Dogg show we did. We did that. So it was at Kevin Hart's studio out in wherever that was in the Valley, and we got a whole email with all rules.
Yeah.
When you get on studio, no smoking pot. No, like there was, in the trailer, you can't smoke there. and our trailer was right next to Snoop's trailer, right? And we get there, and they're walking us into the trailer, and I smell it, and I'm like, and I'm got the printout, and I go, this says we can't smoke, and we'll get in trouble, and it says all this stuff. And the assistant director who was walking us out goes, oh yeah, don't worry about that. Right. You guys are okay. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. And so we were in our trailer smoking up a storm while Snoop was in the trailer next door smoking up a storm.
That is awesome.
So it's just all, who are you with and who's calling the shots?
Yeah.
Well, Mark, I think it's appropriate for you to show off in front of Michael, Sheldon, and of course your buddy Dave, who you've been knowing since you've been 8 years old. But your slam poem. Yeah. I mean, I know we're not talking about the Pop Brothers at Law, but you've done some stuff that has really shined and let your brother ride off your coattails, right? Because as he thinks it's the dumbest thing ever, there's something there that debuts your acting fucking skills that are just phenomenal and your writing skills that are awesome.
Well, let me jump in for a second because, yes, his ability to write poetry, it's amazing to me. And he comes up with it like almost instantly. It just comes out.
He's wrote me several love letters.
He's able to, rattle off this slam poem about cannabis. But let me tell you, as far as acting goes, he was able to memorize. Go ahead. I mean,
a lot of things.
Well, I mean, The Raven.
Oh.
And so you watch.
That's the Edgar Allan Poe 19-stanza poem.
Absolutely memorized to the letter. Yeah. And he sent me videos of it, and I would watch. I would give him notes here and there, just pronunciations and stuff.
I was auditioning to play Edgar Allan Poe.
He was auditioning to play, right. And so he sends me this stuff, and I'm watching it as he's sending me video after video after video, and I see the improvement, and I see him evolving into Edgar Allan Poe, the person, as he's reciting this poem. So when you talk about acting, so the acting, when he's reciting a poem that he's written, especially about cannabis, I mean, it just flows. It just flows because he believes it. But the acting part comes from when he does something else like Edgar Allan Poe, and that's not easy. You see where the talent is.
And I've seen where the talent is as well, the way you've learned to become a radio host, the way you've learned to do so many things.
I learned from the best.
Yes, you have. And I just want you to share with all of us and those that are watching, give us the acting style in Las Vegas. Slam poem as you're on Fremont Street.
You're
brother.
putting me on the spot. I didn't even know the last time I'd done this.
Exactly. I mean,
see if I still remember
let's
it.
come on. Oh,
well,
please.
Hopefully.
There we go. Get ready. Yeah, give it to us.
What's the name of it?
Give it the camera. Yeah, I think it's called.
I think it's called "Am I Being Detained or Am I Free to Go?"
Ladies and gentlemen,
I think
Marc
that's
Wasserman.
the name of it. Is this my camera right here?
Oh, this is gonna be great.
All right. This is "Am I Being Detained or Am I Free to Go?" A slam poem by the Pop Brothers at Law.
Yeah.
Written by me, though. Yeah. Am I being detained or am I free to go? This is what to say. My lawyer tells me so. The cops are out there doing a job. Sometimes they must contain a mob, a thankless job that saves many lives. At their home are worried children, husbands, and wives. But does that give them the right to stomp on my rights? So we are here for you, the cannabis community, to fight, to let you know it's okay to just shut the fuck up when cops ask questions. You start with, I'm not discussing my day, end with, I invoke the fifth. These ain't suggestions. These are words to live by, to memorize. See, it's not about the size of that cop's gun, because they want you to run. So they could pull that macho gun and shoot you for fleeing the scene. Some cops are just plain mean. We must shut it off, shut it down. Those feelings of anger that instantly come around when that cop has to show his power and his might without cause, without reason, and we know they're not right. We must remain calm. Keep the devil sleeping on the left shoulder. We must be cold, even colder. Ice must flow through your veins to shut that heat. The blood that rushed your brain straight from your feet when that cop disrespected you, cause you wouldn't tell him what that smell was?
Huh?
And he accuses you of a pot DUI because he absolutely knows that you're buzzed. But see, they can't tell and they don't know. Only if you tell them so. Oh, officer, I smoked a joint a few hours ago. Officer, here's my medical rec. Officer, I'm a marijuana patient. We live in America. Prohibition still exists. That cop's going to do whatever he's going to do. 50-50, he arrests you.
Ooh.
Give us a chance to represent you with a defense that's blazing. Let us show you in court we're amazing. But we could only do that if you listen to our tips. Now let me see you move your lips. You know the drill. When the cops ask questions, we say, I'm not discussing my day. Am I being detained or am I free to go? I invoke the fifth and then you shut the fuck up. It's all about what you say and what you do. We have given you the script. We are telling you what to say. We are telling you what to do. We've put your hands up in protection mode. But should you take a shot to the jaw, we will be here fighting for the cannabis community and all citizens because we are the Pot Brothers at Law.
Yeah.
And you know, that's not what we were here today for, but Marc Wasserman,
I remembered it.
little brother of the Pop Brothers at Law, definitely knows how to show up and blow up when he does show up. And Mark, for those who haven't seen the movie, go check out the movie Herbie. You can get it on Amazon. You could get it.
Well, no. Amazon, you can get Commute and Falling Down.
Okay.
Herbie isn't available yet because it's still running the film festival
still doing the
circuit.
film
What
festival.
about Terminal?
It's not there anymore.
Oh, okay.
But
Well, there's a couple that you
Commute
can
and
commute.
Falling Down.
And of course, Dave Cohen, thank you for coming. Sheldon Cooper from
Absolutely.
All Access
My
USA.
Yes, sir, yes,
Tattoos
sir.
and Smokes in
Oh,
Las
yeah.
Vegas. Where's the addresses for those?
Oh, yeah, 2300 North Rainbow, or if you're by the airport, 3130 East Sunset Road.
Yep, and I was just out there for the grand opening of that second
Nice.
location, hanging out. And the Cannabis Awards is going down September 28th. That's going to be
Yes,
the
sir.
first Cannabis Awards on a Sunday.
Yep, it's going down. You guys make sure you go to church first.
Exactly. Go to church first. And Michael
Love it.
from Alternative Culture Awards,
Love
July
it.
24th, 8 p.m. Come talk about the event real quick, please.
Am I on the camera?
Oh, I don't know what camera you have. What camera did you pick? Okay, come pick this one. Talk about it.
It's your boy Mike. We're here live in Las
Exactly.
Vegas at iHeartRadio. Come out July 24th, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're going to be at the Fremont Country Club doing a buyers B2B wholesale
Oh, yeah.
networking night. It's going to be awesome. And from 8 to whenever they decide to close, we're going to be having Immortal Technique, live music, Poison Pen, Ronnie Lee. Spectacular stuff. It's going to be great.
Yeah, so just tons of events always going down. Of course, follow Cannabis Talk 101 for all the news and more information. Pop Brothers at Law are letting you know. Shut the fuck up when cops ask questions.
Yes.
All Access USA is putting it down like 4 flats every day, baby. You know how we do this in the town. It's Cannabis Talk 101. If nobody else loves you,
We do.
you know
Oh,
that.
yeah.